Market is open. Executed.
Good morning, guys. I don't want those glasses right now. Oh, here we go. So I just borrowed for PIK. Consumer cyclicals, or I guess cyclicals. Cyclical, yeah. Consumer cyclicals. The top right now, up 6% already on the daily performance. This is a gap up short, and the borrows are getting pretty expensive right now. Where'd you go? Good morning, if I didn't say that. I already borrowed 300. It went up to 100% and went down to like 88, 90%. I'm gonna shoot my first shot between like 110 and like 140%. And so what that looks like is 100%, it was, 3.7. And so 10% off of that would be something like 4. Yeah, about 4. So TradeZero is doing that, flashing more like a higher price again. But in the meantime, let me make sure the amount of shares actually borrowed is correct. I only have so much cash in this account right now. Oh wait, I should have actually borrowed more. Yeah. Well, yeah. So thing is, we want to give this like a little bit room to breathe. People probably shorted already at like 360, and they're expected to get squeezed 20%. Added to like the normal like morning push like this, which would be, I want to give it like 60 cents, but main thing is China like a top minister in China was saying they commit to stabilizing economic growth in China. Fed talked yesterday for America, and they were committing to stopping inflation. And we saw a lot of those commitments played out throughout the week, to where in the beginning of the week, JP Morgan and other credible people talking all kinds of smack about Chinese stocks and the technology industry and a few other places. They're all down 60 to 80%, and they only can go down so far before someone comes in and tries to buy everything from cheap. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is the Fed committed to a long-term focus on their two responsibilities. One is control inflation, and the other one is economic growth through controlling the demand and the debt balance sheet and stuff. They pretty much said, hey, we're going to do a lot more hikes this year, and we're going to do even more next year, and try to get to 2.75% interest rate increase, doing minimum quarter hikes, at least 6 more for the rest of the year, each one of the meetings. What that means is there's going to be a lot of people that are coming in because they think the worst has already happened. They also mentioned that the peak of inflation should be into the middle of the year, and then everything started going down from there, and then even more down in the year after. Where does that mean for the penny stocks? Well, the penny stocks, they need growth for them to come up, and so we're seeing a lot of growth in Chinese stocks right now. So let me see if PIK, where does it come from? This is USA. But yesterday we saw a lot of movement towards the middle of the day of a lot of people that are just starting to buy all kinds of things that they think the worst news has already gone through, and this is the time to buy the dip. The same thing applied to the SPY, where a lot of people were sitting on the sidelines. They covered hedge funds and large investors and stuff. They all anticipated fear from the war, inflation, and potential hikes and stuff like that. And now that they see that there's a long-term steady commitment, a lot of them are coming back into the market. And what do you call it? Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say for now. But yeah, when it comes to PIK, we're only 8 minutes in. This already has 25K, and the market cap on this is 13 million. That's extremely small. And so if this ended up at 8, I wouldn't be surprised. 7 million market cap for 14 million market cap. Yeah, that's just such a little amount of money at that 25K volume. They could easily be exchanged between the potential 7.5 million. I want to say hands, but that's not what float is. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I was looking at the Freedom Chat, and a lot of people were making some sense when they were talking about, NASDAQ made a triple bottom, and there's a lot of panic and fear, and no one actually knows where the bottom is right now. But main thing is, when the Fed talked about the balance sheet yesterday, and how they were going to approach it, which they, lightly did. Where? Oh, okay. I'm looking at the wrong one. They pretty much said that what do you call those? Pretty much the stuff they put on like during quarantine, they're trying to take them off because the public doesn't want them anymore, and it's also going to be better to help them like control inflation. There was a lot of like playing the blame game by the wait, I already mentioned this one yesterday, but like the government like educating like TikTokers and everyone trying to blame Putin and a few other things. Like I have so much to say, I just don't know what's the appropriate thing to share. Yeah, but for now, PIK. I'm feeling like there's another squeeze coming, so there's a reason I'm not going in like right away. And that's mostly just because like such a small market cap. Like that's legit the only reason. Next to the top sector right now is the consumer cyclical. Let's see what's the top. Oh, it still needs to load. Well, in the meantime, I only have 1,000 in here, so I might, let's see, $4 stock. I risked like 20 cents on it. So this goes back up to like 410. I pretty much risked the high a day. But it's just so easy to like break this. Actually, it's been 4 minutes already and only 3 million came in, so it's starting to slow down a little bit. But again, it's only like 12 minutes in. Other than that, energy stocks, like they did their pullback. You see a few of them in the top gainers today. Like saw some in the 20%, some in the double digits, and I don't know how far that's gonna go. But remember, it just had like a whole week of like grinding down or fading. So it has to go back through like all that. But main thing is if everyone's pretty much trying to buy all the stuff that went down like 80-60%, especially like the tech companies, the healthcare, the like all that, we should be seeing some type of volume come back into the market too. Let's see. I have a question. How do you study investing in stocks? That's like very broad. Like the so the concepts, the principles, the rules, the things that are important, I get them from like Steven's DVDs. I get them from like his webinars, and then just go to any other kind of mentor or newscaster that has like some type of track record that's either credible and stuff like that. Reading books is a big thing, because main thing is you're trying to get in rhythm with the market, and then you're supposed to figure out what's important to other investors and traders, and then separate between the two. And so there's been a few times where I just put up like normal audiobooks. I guess I did. And where are you? So where are you? So there's like The Hour Between Dog and Wolf. Trading in the Zone. No, like this one. And then pretty much all those like Trading for Dummies and like variations of those books, like a lot of them just have very, very broad knowledge, but your job is to figure out what you actually want to do, and then just find what the author is pointing out as important, and then break that down into its like, you know, first principle, or like what is he actually trying to say. You know, an example would be, you know, if he's talking about fear in the market, over trading, like a specific sector or specific part of the year, you can break that down into components. You're just like, okay, what actually made that, you know, something that could make you money? And like, okay, what's the amount of fear in there? Where does that come from? Who actually was leading the charge? Is that a hedge fund? Is that an individual hedge fund? Pretty much a trader. And just keep boiling it down. Main thing is, you want to just keep learning consistently if you're not actually on Wall Street. Because remember I said, yeah, I think it's in my like first video, or the one I put on the homepage. You need to have a chat room to where, you know, being in a chat room, being a trader, it's a long discussion of like, what do you think is important? Because you're trying to get into like the rhythm of what other people are thinking and why are they investing and stuff like that. But you also kind of want to have an opinion, like even if it's a stupid opinion, you still want to like have some kind of ground to stand on, and let reality pretty much test if you're wrong or right. It's just like during those times of like high uncertainty, because that's all it is at the end of the day, is like uncertainty, fear, and like other things like that, and then putting your money where your mouth is. Yeah, but that's just how I study. Like I try to break it down into like fundamental, and I just scan like all kinds of articles and news. But before that, when I was just focused on like penny stocks, yeah, I was just studying other gurus, like going through their DVDs, their channels, and then going into chat rooms, like not chat room, like sniping, just figuring out, okay, who's pumping what, who's doing what kind of things, how do I read a sec filing, how do I what do you call it? Yeah, it just goes into that kind of like area. How do I say this? It's like there's a lot of like textbook stuff that you have to know, but you can learn all that within like, you know, within the month, within 3 months, within 6 months, and then everything else after that is just applying a strategy that you chose to focus on. And that's kind of what the Freedom Challenge is. But the Freedom Challenge also offers that back end where, you know, you're supposed to be bouncing back and forth with like Steven, who has like, you know, a very wide range of knowledge and strategies. And so like you'll see all kinds of people in the chat, and like that's another like big part of it, where again it's like a whole discussion, and like you're kind of like trading separately but trading together at the same time. It goes into that area. Yeah, that's how I study though. I haven't been in that chat for a while though. I pop in for like what, 5 minutes, because that's all I really have time for by the time he opens. So that's been like what, 3 times in the past like 3 months. What am I doing? I have a question. How do you study? Oh, I said that. I told you to buy The Invasion. Did you? But you did not listen. Shaking my head. Yeah. What do you call it? Zelensky was talking about peace talks yesterday, and he said it was looking more realistic to Putin, because Putin pretty much just said, hey, demilitarize Kiev, or KYVIV or something like that. and I'll agree to a ceasefire. And yeah, like that's looking a little more realistic. But that's the last I heard of it. Remember, we're in a different time zone, so like anything could happen overnight. I didn't see. It's not important to know who's like pumping the stock. One of these things is like you can make money in stocks without knowing anything, and like that's the beauty of this. You can just be a nerd and like know specific like statistic strategies and ranges and stuff, and just go in here and do it when you see a pattern. Or you can just come in here and like hold and hope once you heard from your friend and things like that. But when you know about like the pumper and the actual catalyst, you can find like the expiration date for that catalyst, and at that point you can figure out, you know, how much momentum is actually in there. You know, when is the momentum going to shift? How long should this temporarily, like, you know, keep going? And it helps you, you know, maximize and minimize like losses and gains. I was about to say, yeah, but when it comes to like the pumpers and stuff, yeah, you'll see some people on like YouTube, you'll see others on Twitter, you'll see like the actual like articles, like the really sketchy ones that they play on like TV and other stuff. Pretty much most of the companies, they'll try to get like warrants offerings and like other, you know, official filings and stuff, and then they'll pump it up to like specific prices to where they know investors remember this specific price, either where they did that offering or they did that warrant, or, you know, it made a high, or you like got stuck there on a day, or president something said something around that area, and then they'll just keep bringing it back up to those areas where people are trapped, or people are like have some memory of what's happening. Can you analyze PIK? Well, so just make sure. Yep, everything's where I left it. So where are you? So PIK. It's a downtrending chart. It's a gap up. It gapped up at least 100% from 180 to about like 360, but then open up an extra 10% to 430. The market cap's pretty low. The float is a small cap, or a small float. I think the people that were going for like early shorts, as soon as it hit over that 70%, under 100% market right there, and then those people are likely to get squeezed. But what do you call it? The second wave will be somewhere between 415. It already has 30 million shares traded. My thing is, when I see a market cap like this small, I'm expecting like at least 3, I want to say short squeezes, like pretty much like, yeah, it's pretty much a short squeeze, not even a pullback. before I even attempt to go in. That's everything else before. It's just so easy for it to like catch a support. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, and so I pretty much want to go in at like 350. Where would that be actually? Let's do it from here. 1.8. Hmm. 4.4. Oh, I already went to 4.3. All right, so if it comes back up, I'll make my first entry around 4.4. I think it won't go anything above like 4.6. This is another one of those things I was talking about before, where like you have a market cap that's so small that it only has a morning edge, and like with that, usually you have a smaller float, and you'll wait for 3 to 5 rotations. No, that's still bullish. You'll wait for like, I want to say minimum like 8. And I know it's below 10, but like you'll wait for a certain amount of rotations of the float just to make sure people are caught. Because at the end of the day, if this was a stock that came from like if like this area, like 2 and below, if this was like extended for months, then it'd be like a flat chart. This isn't a flat chart, it's a downtrending chart where like there's barely any volume actually trapped up in this place in the first place. This sector, or you can call it the wind, whatever you want, it was like pretty high yesterday and today, and so in the week it's still like up there. That's the thing I want. Yeah, but next time another thing I'm like watching for is for people to like, since a lot of people are buying like temporarily, I'm waiting for the SPY to get back down to 420 so I can make like a longer contract, because at the end of the day I still think the dollar is going down, but there's a lot of people that think this is the end of like a storm or something, and so until they change their mind, which very few things can like do that, like I just need to size down at least. So I'm gonna do that next time it goes to 420. Next earnings season, or not season, but of the big companies isn't until April. Next, like Fed meetings, not till May, and other like really big influencing kind of things. Other than that war and a few things, like they're not until at least next month, and I can handle that, but yeah, I'm just disappointed. Yeah, it's yeah. Can you PIK not alerted because it's low float or because it's not ideal? Is someone alert? It's not ideal. First green day. The stock just had its IPO recently, I believe. Not ideal at all. A pretty bad one since the overall chart is consistently downtrending and gap up short requires consistent resistance. Yep. I think I already mentioned that though. The concept for gap up short is relying on the constant resistance being active after the market opens and it pushes. If the chart is consistently downtrending, it indicates the remaining investors of the stock are not likely to sell after the open versus the investors in the consistent resistance. Okay, yeah. So what he's trying to say is, or what he is saying is, the concept behind why consistent resistance is a downward pressure. And what do you call it? My thing is, I don't know if we were supposed to go into that much detail. Like for, well, he can because it's in the chat, but I don't know about me. What am I doing? I have noticed the ducks recently long. Is he trying to develop a new strategy? Recently long. So he's been trying to get a gauge of what's gonna happen with gold and a few other things. Like when you say long, like what did he actually long? And then I can explain like what that is. But in terms of new strategies, he's always testing something. Especially since like the small caps haven't been getting as much love lately. So yeah, he's been more testing options and what do you call it? The whole SPY thing. Like just looking at it, like the numbers and logic and catalysts and stuff like that, we expected this to go down like a while ago. And we're just really confused how bad news can be good news. And we're just like, huh. You know that, was that buy the rumor, sell the news, buy the drums, sell the trumpet. Like there's all kind of one-liners out there. You know how many like older stock people I've been looking at, like Market Maverick, Peter Schiff, like all kinds of analysts. Yeah, I want to go back to bed. How many rotations are we at already for peak IK? So just divided by 7. So yeah. So what do you call it? 5 times 7, 35. Yeah, 42 would be 6 times 5. So almost 6. Yeah, it's bullish up to the point where, you know, it's 3 to 5. Yeah, but main thing is like this doesn't fit an ideal gap up short yet. It has the extension, but it doesn't have the consistent resistance. And plus the low market cap. So again, I'm still waiting for more squeezes, because at least at that point we'll have some type of resistance at the bottom and then it'll grab it from the bottom. Oh damn, your room dusty. Oh, is it? Like the editor the other day was saying that he could see my energy aka like the dust like going around, even like highlighted a little circle. I can't see it though. Yeah, I just like need to sleep more. Yeah, but I sneeze like every day. You said people get cut. What do you mean? Wait, did I say I will cut people, or did people get cut? Can you explain the effects of float rotation has on a stock? So, oh wait, which can I share? Okay, I keep looking around for a tissue, but I know exactly where they are. They're over there next to the other side. But pretty much with float rotation, float is the amount of shares, like the total amount of shares that are open to the public for this ticker to like trade. And that means it's the maximum amount of, how do I say this? Like, it's just paper at the end of the day, and it's paper that's been cut up a lot, and then that number at the float is just how many times it's been cut, or like how many individual pieces. So there's a finite amount of people that can like have all those papers, and then the job is to like monopolize it. Put it all in one person's hand. You can do that. And so there's a rotation of how many of those tickets like exchange hands, because at the end of the day, that's what you're trading. You're just trading like those individual ones at different prices. And so when there's a full rotation, because the volume is pretty much, to get 2 points of volume, you have to make one trade. Like one goes in, like it starts as a sell and then goes into a buy. That puts 2 points onto the volume like counter. If the entire float is like 10 and then on the volume counter you have 20, then that means it rotated twice. And what that really means is the entire float rotated twice. And so when you see a float of 10, that means the maximum amount of people that can trade is 10. And so if one person has like all the what do you call it? All the float at one end, the spread between like, what this person's asking for and what this person's willing to sell for is going to be a little bit mostly like it's going to be wide. The spread is going to be like way too wide to actually have like fluent liquidity go between the market. And so there's a lot of ways to solve that. There's you putting in more shares with the offering. There's a market maker coming in just like trying to adjust the price and like selling a little bit at a discount like to himself, and trying to fill the gap in between. Like there's all kinds of ways to like go about it, but the main thing is like the more it rotates, the higher the chance that there's going to be people trapped at like specific levels, because all that volume is going to rotate at a what do you call it, like at a consolidated level, or like a specific price, what do you call that, like a specific like $0.50, whole dollar, or any kind of tight consolidation. And when you have like so many rotations like at that point, there's a higher chance that 10%, 20%, 30% like of the people are just going to be stuck there, or something's inconvenience going to happen, like technology issues, brain issues, like anything in between. Like it goes into that kind of concept, and your job is to use everything that you have to give you an edge or make you feel comfortable enough to hold the trade for the appropriate amount of time. Because at the end of the day, you're just going against other people. And so it's like thinking about the psychology behind a crowd and what kind of group think happens when like a crowd goes through. It goes into that kind of stuff, and that's what a float rotation is. You just see the tip of the iceberg, and I only gave like 20% of it. Yeah, 20-30% of it. Like you can really go down deep with it. So you said people get cut. Right, I can't stop reading that. Yeah, people do get cut. But yeah, let me drink my water. I need some warm water. It is kind of warm. Oh, but you're under $1. No. Oh yeah, we got like $1 billion to Ukraine. Crap. Hey, we went up $6. All right, so that was that pullback I was talking about. Now we're probably gonna consolidate somewhere at I want to say like 15, 12, and then slowly grind back up and break that 130 top, and then we get to like a real high because there's no actual solution to this oil. Even though a lot of people are trying to outsource, like against what the president's saying. But it was something else. Go green, everybody. Yeah, go green. Yeah, we're gonna be the one to lead the rest of the world in going green. Solution. Okay. Man, there's so many things, like if I get like a snippet, like 10 seconds, 5 seconds out of context, that'd be a meme. But what's that doing? You know how many times Steven was a meme? Like you got the Thanos, he got Madara, like everything in between. I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah. Innovation stocks, growth, tech, space. Triple that. Already went over. Oh, IPOs recently. There's an IPO we saw yesterday. Don't actually remember. I just want to know if it went up. Oh wait, someone told me there was a site that tracks all the IPOs. And I think I have it up here. No, that's something tracker. Recent IPOs. Oh, IPO scoop. There we go. Akanda, AKAN, healthcare. Yep. Good. I'm gonna put this one up here, just so I can play with it. So, what do you call it? Back to that like study question. Like people study so like when you go to school, like any kind of school or mentor and stuff like that, they're there to teach you the basics of whatever you're trying to learn. If you're, you know, in like level 1, they're trying to teach you how to learn in that industry or market. You know, if you're like level 2, they're trying to teach you how to think and, you know, what to value as like important, just in a very, you know, very broad aspect. When you get to like level 3, it becomes more like philosophy and like stuff like that. Everything else after that point is you taking that foundation into your own form. And so they give you like a refined form, and your job is to break that down into like what you can conceive, and then, you know, add to it consistently as you make your own accomplishments with it. It's how I take it. Because isn't that what engineering is? Or like something like that. Something else I was doing. Oh yeah. IKAN. Just want to see if it went up. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting IPO. The third. Okay. Not every IPO just becomes a multi-day runner and stuff like that. Let's see how much actual 7 million. Hold on, get this out of here. I was like, let's see if we can make a bounce short out of this. Nah, not touching that. At least we know it's the healthcare sector. Like they have some good information on here. Make sure to save this. When it comes to like reviewing material, I definitely need a little bit more order. Because my study habits have always been, you know, cram right before the test kind of person. And like, you know, there's sometimes where, you know, I'll just go to a 24-hour coffee shop or cafe and stuff like that. I'll sit down, I forget the world, and I'm like, and get everything done in one day. Yeah, but that also gets back to your health. I destroyed my shoulders yesterday. Grr. Not really though. It's like, ow. But I'm doing my part. I don't even own a car. Mostly because I don't have a place to park it. Yeah, yeah, limited space. I was about to say, we saw the energy sector was moving a little bit. Healthcare. Yeah, we just looked earlier. I still looked there. What about the change though? Okay, yeah, these are the ones that were coming from last week, so might be able to see some type of back end. But this one has to get to like 10 plus. This one has to get to like 5. Ooh. I want to say another 5 minimum. Yeah, everything 5. Ooh, this one back to the 40, 47, 50. Go. Oil already did is pull back, should slowly grind up. But what was I supposed to say? When you mentioned the parking situation, it gave me all kinds of flashbacks of limited spaces. I remember like people getting their like tires taken and the hubcaps taken and radio stolen and all kinds of other stuff, like when they'll park in the wrong place and they're just like, who the hell is this kid? And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Okay. But I will go long gold. What's your opinion about that? I see huge inflation in the future. You are correct, sir. There's so much fear about the dollar because of inflation. The Fed already announced that, you know, they lost control a while ago. A lot of they're behind the curve in a lot of this stuff. This is something they've never seen before, and you know, they're doing their best with their tools, and you know, they're also doing their job saying that like everybody is going to be okay. We're strong. We're experiencing all kinds of growth. We're taking off the help we gave before, you know, just trying to calm the public. And they're saying they're assessing the problem and probably, you know, loading up on the SPY. But main thing is the way that affects gold is an inverse relationship with the value of the dollar. No matter how much money we print, which we were supposed to stop printing yesterday, and how much, no matter how much, you know, Biden wants to go like green with the country and like, you know, help Ukraine and like all these other things, eventually our values like going to go down, and then that's going to bring gold 2,000 plus. And the thing is, when it comes to like investing in gold, you also have to know that it's not an immediate thing. It's more of like a security for your money. And so if you're actually trying to make, you know, short-term capital gain instead of like long-term, which, you know, like a year and above, gold is not where you actually want to be. But if you do that, like for security, I'd go gold, silver. People are thinking about Bitcoin and all these other things to like also secure their money. But main thing is like all this is going to happen slow. It's going to be a very slow death for the dollar. And then in the meantime, anything can really happen globally that we can use as an excuse to like slow down the process or kick the can down the road. At least that's what I think. I will wait. What? It went back up already? Oh no, you said your average is at 418. Okay. I was gonna say what? I was expecting like 11 o'clock before it went back up. Cause like with those morning people, they're only probably getting like 20-30% of $4 stock. No, what kind of low did it make first? Yeah, 350. 80 cents off the top. Yeah, 20%. Yeah, that's a very tight range. That's also within like there's still momentum in this ticker kind of range. Yeah, it's gonna be a slow grind. If anything, I should have bought at 350. but I want to do it. What am I doing? I want to cry. Everything you feel, it's okay. Who is Tim Bowen and why is he spamming your email? LOL. I have what do you call it? Stock to trade and stuff. And there's no unsubscribe like on here. actually just need to what do you call it? Oh, I can do the email version of it. Yeah, he's in my spam now. He's gonna go there with all the other spam. Tim Bowen is a stock to trade trainer / marketer. It's another one of those Tims. What do you call it? I try to respect like older people and my seniors and stuff like that, and so I try to find value like anywhere I can. But there's a lot of people, like the more you like look into them and the more you like research, the more dirt you see, and then the more you see like they're not hanging around the best company and things like that. Like my first impression of him was more of like he reminded me of an old football coach, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And doing the early streams, I'm like, okay, cool. He's using very simple words. He's talking to people. He's very entertaining. His mood's fluctuating a lot, and I'm like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take what I can and I'm gonna try to apply it to this channel. Eventually, I got to a point where I'm like, he's been in this for a while. I'll use that later down the road. Let me make something stable first. Let me just do it my way. But with that, I'm also waiting for specific things to happen in the development first. But I'm almost 100 streams in, but I only have like 20 videos out. And then the quality of the videos, like, I don't know, I try to do at least one video per week, and we're at the 23rd week. Yeah, so a little over 20 videos. Yeah. Hey homie, nailed PIK. Nah, I didn't want to do it. I too chicken, too scared. Yeah, but there's that morning edge right there. Another reason like why it's hard for me to short these things that aren't ideal. I feel like it's not pride. I'll say it. Like when there's not enough money involved, I can't even really get interested. Like, actually, I have more than I thought. Yeah. No. I still want something ideal. Yeah. If I try to second guess myself, that's where I sabotage myself later down the road, or in the middle of a game or something. TZ lagged and I didn't trust it. Gonna have to make the switch. I wouldn't blame you. What do you call it? I just know this one has like what do you call it? When you borrow shares, they come from specific, what do you call that? Like, so there's a limited amount of shares for each stock, and then they go through, or they're funneled through like a few branches, and then like, I don't want to say one person owns like all the shares, but like the people that like distribute what broker gets a certain amount of shares, the people that TZ knows, and the people that I think Guardian, yeah, like they're the closest to that person, and so it's so much easier to get these borrows. But they're also going to make you pay, and so like at least that's what I'm. Yeah. So like I'm gonna stick with TZ until I have enough to get like 2-3 accounts open, and then have that consistent like trading, and then I'm gonna be like opening 3 accounts at the same time, just going click 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 click. Yeah, but that also requires a lot of multitasking. So I'll be answering a lot less questions and probably be over like $500,000 at that point, minimum 200K. The thing is, if I really get aggressive with my trading, I feel like I can get 100K within a month. But I'd also like be a lot edgier and be like, grrr. Yeah, for me to do that, I'd have to put on like a few pounds of more muscle and be like, grrr, like super stiff neck. I'm pretty sure I cracked my neck yesterday doing shoulders, like wrong technique, like snapping my neck. But all right, it's 10:30, guys. So the secret is to change your name. Tim Sykes, Tim Grattani, Tim Bowen, some other Tim. When I become a millionaire traders, I will change my name to Tim too. Watch the wait. Well, now I'm not gonna call him out. Never mind. Yeah, but one of those names is the millionaire. Watch the commodities and stocks in those industries will flow. Watch the follow. Hey homie, now 430 at least. Test and fail. Yeah. Like if it goes back up to 430 again, fake out. That's all I'm gonna say. Like fake out. And now 440 to like 450. Anything past that, like 450, then it can create like a new high that's like, $5 or something. And then not even worth looking at. But yeah, that's all I really pretty much have to say. Ibubala. BB La Dai. God more. Okay, you were trying to give me a cast a spell. Got more hair than she got body. Oh, okay, I know it. Oh, Boobalati. Boobalati. Okay, I've heard that one. Okay, guys. It's 10:30. Be safe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. Boobalati.